You got some really good news from my Carolina Panthers here. They act Christian McCaffrey and Shaq Thompson have agreed to restructure their contracts to save $11 million in salary cap space, which is actually really good. And I'll get to that in just a few minutes. They saved 5.6 million in cap space on McCaffrey, who less than a year ago he signed a 4-year, $64 million contract with the Carolina Panthers, which made him the highest paid running back in the league at 16 million a year. As for Shaq Thompson, they saved $6.126 million on his contract, and back in December of 2019, signed a 4-year, $54.2 million extension. So it's really good that that they're willing to give up some of the payment of their contract to the team itself. And I'll get to that in just a second. This was written by David Newton, who is an ESPN staff writer. So Mario, I'm going to go first. This is my team. Obviously, this is a good thing, and I'll get to the salary cap thing right now because this is something that I've been mentioning a lot the last few days. Um, they save $11 million in cap space. The Carolina Panthers already have $32.4 million in cap space. You just raised the stakes up to nearly 50 million in cap space. That's really good. That's really good. It goes to show you that, and it's a class act on the players themselves. You know, it goes to show that there's still players out there that just don't care about the money. They want to win, and they want to win by any means possible. And even if it means to get rid of part of their contract, they're gonna do that. You know, I remember Mike Evans was saying something about that. He said, "I'll give up part of. I don't care how much I get paid, or if I get paid, I'll give up some of my contract so we can get other players and things like that." You know, I like players like that because like, you got all these players like Dak Prescott, Patrick Mahomes, and we'll go to baseball, Mike Trout, Garrett Cole, Trevor Bauer, and basketball, you got LeBron James, Jason Tatum, all these guys getting paid hundreds of millions of dollars, right? But you got to remember, yeah, they deserve it, but that's going towards one player. You know what I mean? And that's a lot of money to be given to one player. You know, and I get it. It's in like a 2 to 5, 10 year span, depending on the contract you're talking about, but it's still a lot of money nonetheless. And that takes a very big hit on it takes a very big hit financially, especially when you're giving contracts that are over $400 million. Yeah, Chief, I'm calling you out. Well, look, all right, that's not the point. But the point is that I like to see that they're willing to give up some money to free up cap space, and what the Carolina Panthers should do with that, obviously, get another defender, Deshaun Watson maybe. I would like that. I would really appreciate that. I don't know if that's going to happen though, because the Texans aren't going to want to get rid of him. And if they do, then it's probably gonna be a persuasion and a half to do that. So I can only imagine how bad that would turn out. But with that being said, quality stuff to my homeboy CMC and Shaq Thompson. I wish them the best of luck, and I hope the Carolina Panthers take advantage of this big cap space.
No, I'll take it back from. I'll take it back from there. So first off, congratulations to Shaq Barrett. Congratulations to Christian McCaffrey on staying with the Carolina Panthers, making that work, and congratulations to the Carolina Panthers themselves. Yeah, I think this just shows you how selfless Shaq Thompson and Christian McCaffrey are. It just shows you how selfish they are. Selfless, not selfish. Excuse me, selfless, because they're willing to give up some of their contracts to stay on the team and to help the team. Here's the problem with it though. It's going to put pressure on the Panthers in the long run because as selfless as it is, there's going to come a time where they're going to probably want to get paid. We've seen it with Amendola when he was with the Patriots. He kept cutting his contract, restructuring it. And then what happened? He ended up leaving. Then you look at Tom Brady. He continued to do it every single year. Wanted more money. They weren't willing to give it to him, so they left. So he left. I want the Panthers to learn from what the Patriots didn't do. You restructure the contract, but when the time comes, remember what they did for you and reward them. That's what I'm trying to say. So when their contract is up and they're looking for a new deal, then give them the reward that they deserve because they're playing at a level of $54 million and $65 million. They're playing at that level, mate. Christian McCaffrey, when healthy, is one of the best running backs in the game. He's definitely top 2 or top 3. Shaq Thompson is definitely one of the best defenders in the game. In my opinion, I think he's kind of been going underrated since. So when you really look at it, they're selfless right now, but in the long run, reward them. Reward them for what they've done for you. Now with that $44 million or $43 million, what you can do with it is, again, you can get a new defender. And here's a guy I'm looking at real good now since he did not re-sign his contract. Shaq Barrett. That is the one guy I'm looking at right now. Shaq Barrett. Shaq Barrett is on that market. And if the Buccaneers do not re-sign him, that's the guy I'm going for right there. Because especially as a Carolina Panther, especially for the Carolina Panthers, because if you're willing to put more pressure on the quarterback, that is a big thing for that defense. And we've seen how the defense, and we've seen how bad the Panthers defense was this year. Despite the good players, we've seen how bad it was. But they do have promising players. They do have Jeremy Chin. They do have Derek Brown. They do have Brian Burns. They do have help me out here. Obviously, Shaq Thompson is one of them.
Derek Brown. Trying to think who else. Man, I'm having a pretty big brain fart myself.
They cut Trey Boston though, right?
Yeah, they cut Trey Boston. K1 Short's gone now too.
Yeah.
So we've lost a bit of pieces.
Right. So I think Shaq Barrett would be a perfect guy right there. I think that's a perfect linebacker to pair up with Shaq Barrett. He puts the pressure on the quarterback, and Shaq Barrett does his job as a linebacker. Panthers can go places. I really do think Shaq Barrett is a very underrated player in this game, especially as a defender. And I don't think he gets the credit that he deserves because he's on such a good defense, and even before the Bucs weren't good, so he wasn't getting the attention that he deserved. Same thing with Levante David back before Tom Brady got there. So when you really think about it, Nate, I'm using this money on a defender. Here's the thing. A lot of people are going to trash Teddy. I don't think Teddy's as bad as people say they are. You know what I'm saying? Which is why I don't think that right now would be the time to get rid of Teddy. I'm going to be honest. I think if you can develop Teddy a little bit more. I believe that. You can disagree with me in the comments, but I believe that Teddy Bridgewater still has time to grow. You know what I'm saying? And Deshaun Watson is not going anywhere. That's just going to drain your money right there. Now, obviously, there's going to be more moves to come later on in the season. When people get their extensions and people are cut, and you're going to really see what's going on everywhere with quarterbacks and other players around the NFL. But as of right now, I'm using that money towards a defender. It's as simple as that. So with that being said, I wish the Carolina Panthers the best of luck. I gotta tip my cap if I had one. I don't have my hat right now, but salute to Shaq Thompson and Christian McCaffrey on restructuring their contracts for the team. I absolutely think that is a very noble thing to do. And I wish them the best of luck in the future.